In today's video, we're going to look at this major volatility that we could expect today because yes, once again, it's the FOMC meeting and the tone of Fed Jerome Powell is really going to decide, are we going to see a major volatile move towards the downside or even towards the upside or vice versa. Today is going to be extremely important. We're going to find out what we could expect from the FOMC meeting, but most importantly guys, we're going to look at the recent FUD. And yes, once again, one country is trying to sell Bitcoin, but is it really going to happen? And are we going to see that the US government is going to sell 2 billion worth of Bitcoin? We're going to look at all of that in today's video, but most importantly, if you're new to this channel, smash up the like button and subscribe, and welcome back to B4 Crypto. And before we're going to go over to the charts, guys, if you want to trade all of these moves, go down in the video description below and sign up to BloFin, where you can join my team, where you can win up to 300,000 US dollars just by trading volume. So join my group and sign up with my link to receive a major deposit bonus. And yes guys, if you always want to stay up to date, make sure to join my free Telegram group where I always keep you up to date and post relevant updates. And with that being said, yes guys, let's go directly over to the charts because today we could expect some major volatility in the markets due to the FOMC meeting. So before we're going to deep dive into the charts of Bitcoin and also Solana, we're going to go directly over to the news. So over on X, we can see that in the previous rate decisions, we could see that the Fed rate has remained steady. So overall guys, if we're going to see the same outcome, that the Federal Reserve is going to keep the rates as they are, then we could expect a bullish move, that we're just going to see a major volatility. But most importantly guys, this is going to be a pivotal point when it comes to rate cuts. Because are we going to see that Powell expects to foreshadow a September rate cut today? This is going to be extremely bullish. The Federal Reserve July policy meeting is set to be a pivotal moment for the overall markets. And yes guys, this is going to give us a major push towards the upside if we're going to see the hint of Fed Jerome Powell that we're going to see a rate cut. But overall guys, if the rates are going to remain the same, then we could expect a major volatile move. But overall guys, this should be bullish for the overall crypto market and the overall markets. So let's go over to the next news. Because yes, the previous FOMC meetings were exactly within these levels, and we saw this dump towards the FOMC meeting exactly here, roundabout in March. And then we saw this pump after the FOMC meeting and this major volatility during the meeting. And then the one after, we saw the same scenario, a dump into the FOMC meeting with a pump all the way back up. And yes, this was the FOMC meeting, the prior FOMC meeting, which was also combined with the CPI inflation data. And we can see that this was the only time out of 3 times that we saw that the markets dumped after the FOMC meeting. But this was also exactly the point where the German government sold their Bitcoin exactly here. So what could we expect during this FOMC meeting? Because once again, we saw that the markets dumped into the FOMC meeting. So are we once again going to see this pump? We're going to find out exactly that, because today we could expect some major volatility, and once again we can see that there's some FUD in the markets. Yes, we can see that the US government moved $2 billion in seized Bitcoin today. This was yesterday. So yes guys, once again we're seeing this major FUD in the market, and this doesn't mean anything because they just moved the Bitcoin from one address to another. Maybe they're just going to panic the markets by spreading this FUD. And yes, even if they're going to sell all of this Bitcoin, guys, this is just going to cause a blip in the market because BlackRock and all these major institutions and also you are buying up all of these Bitcoin. So yes, maybe this could be a little bit volatile, but look what happened with the German government selling their Bitcoin. Yes, there are institutions and major corporations willing to buy all of these Bitcoin. So let's go over to the next news, because this is just some major FUD to get you out of the market, because we all know what's happening guys. Yes, this is the halvening progress, and each and every time after the halvening, 7% into the bull market after the halvening, we can see that in history we always had the sideways move in the third halvening, at the second halvening a sideways move within the 7% after the halvening. And here we had the same scenario, but this was in the first halvening where we could actually see that the price movement of Bitcoin had this initial pump after the Bitcoin halvening. But yes, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. And we can see exactly here guys, we are seeing this sideways move, and we're about to see this next stage of the bull market phase 2 of the bull market. So let's go over to the next chart, because this is ultimately extremely bullish, and that is exactly where we are. We are in the sideways move after the Bitcoin halving and this post-halving consolidation exactly here. And this is going to be the next major run all the way to the top, to the all-time high at the end of the bull market in the year 2025. So this is going to be, once again, your second best entry. Your best entry would have been all the way down here. Because yes, in the previous video we've looked at a lot of altcoins in all of these videos, guys, and I gave you all of these entries. Yes, at the moment we are seeing a little bit of a consolidation and a major volatility within the markets. Maybe you have bought the top, and we are seeing that the price movement of altcoins, specifically the altcoins, are going down, because if Bitcoin goes down 10%, yes, the overall crypto market and altcoins dump a little bit lower, but overall this is just major volatility, and all of this is just major FUD to get you out of the market, so that you think maybe you've done the wrong decisions. Guys, just hold on to your cryptocurrencies, because it's really important. Yes, I had a comment in this video specifically where I told you all in, the bull run is about to start. But guys, you should always consider, first of all, only invest what you can afford to lose, and most importantly, invest money which you don't need next week, because the time horizon is going to be extremely important, that you exactly know when to invest now for the end of the bull market, approximately for the next year. So this is going to be extremely important, and if you want to go all in with your investment capital and not more that you can afford to lose. But let's go over to the charts to find out what we could expect with this major volatility, guys. And yes, these have been the previous FOMC meetings where we saw this dump towards the meeting and a pump afterwards. Yes, during this meeting we saw a lot of volatility, and after the halving and the FOMC meeting here, we saw this dump towards the FOMC meeting and a pump all the way back up, and a small consolidation back above this very important levels, and a major push towards the upside. And yes, guys, this was exactly here where we had the third FOMC meeting during this major consolidation phase, and also the only FOMC meeting where we saw a dump towards the meeting and also a dump after the meeting. But this was also exactly the point where the German government started to sell their Bitcoin exactly in these levels. So yes, guys, this was this major FUD that drove the markets all the way back down, all the way to this low where I exactly marked the bottom, and I told you to load up now, because this is maximum capitulation. And at the moment, guys, we can see that the daily chart for Bitcoin, that we are once again under the 13 moving average. So first, this gives us the indication that we are in a bearish trend underneath the 13 moving average on the daily chart. But to really find out what we could expect, we need to look at the important levels on the Bitcoin chart from the top, from the monthly chart, all the way back down, and that is exactly what we're going to do now. And we're going to start on the monthly chart of Bitcoin, where we can see that Bitcoin formed a new all-time high, and then we saw the next monthly candle was extremely bearish, and we came all the way back down to the lowest monthly close, where the candle body closed exactly in these levels of $60,600, and this was also the make and break situation, where we could see that the price movement of Bitcoin broke this level towards the downside. This was very important, that Bitcoin is going to hold the $60,600 as support on the monthly time frames, and we can see that we had this pump all the way above this monthly closes, this previous monthly closes exactly here. And we can see that the price movement of Bitcoin is back under this important level. So it is really going to be important, because yes, this monthly candle is about to close. And first of all, this is a bullish candle, because we can see the wick towards the downside is much longer than the wick on the top. So yes, this means that the overall crypto market, here's a lot of buying pressure that pushed the price of Bitcoin higher. But let's go down on the even lower time frames, because yes, on the weekly chart we can see that the price movement of Bitcoin came all the way back up, all the way to this downward sloping trend. From the all-time high, we are forming this downwards trend with a lower high for Bitcoin and even a lower high exactly here. So this is going to be the make and break situation. If we're going to close a weekly candle back above this level, then we could expect that we're going to break the previous all-time high. But first of all, guys, on the weekly chart, this green line exactly marks the 13 moving average. This white line, which gives us indication on the weekly chart, are we in a bullish or even in a bearish stand at the moment? And yes, we can see that the price movement is above the 13 moving average and above this very important level of $65,000, because this is going to be extremely important, that the weekly candle is going to close above this level, yes, I could expect during the FOMC meeting that the price movement of Bitcoin is going to come all the way back down during the meeting and all the way back up after the meeting, coming all the way back up to the 70,000 US dollars. But let's go on the daily chart, because yes, at the moment on the daily chart we can see that this level is going to be extremely important. First of all, this monthly candle closes from the previous month and also the 13 moving average, which perfectly lines up with the 100 moving average on the daily chart. So I expect that the price movement of Bitcoin is going to range within this zone during the FOMC meeting until we're going to get a clear decision. Are we going to see a rate cut in September, or are we going to see that the rates are going to remain steady, that we can see this bullish move, or are we going to even see a hawkish behavior from the Fed, maybe postponing the rate cuts to next year? Then we could expect a dump towards the downside. But overall, guys, I expect a major volatility within the zone, and that we could expect that Bitcoin is going to come all the way back up to the 70,000 US dollar level, because yes, ultimately it's clear, we all know where Bitcoin is going, and that this is just a major consolidation phase. So yes, let's go over to Solana, because if you bought Solana exactly at the top after my video, it is really going to be important that you first of all invest money that you can afford to lose, but most importantly, guys, your time horizon must be clear, because if you invested exactly here but you need this money next week, this is not going to work, guys, because ultimately, guys, you should have a long-term perspective, and ultimately, if you're going to buy the tops, all you need to do is lean back and ignore all this FUD that we can see within this time frame. And yes, if the price comes all the way back down for Solana to the 100 moving average on the daily chart, which I don't expect, then yes, this is going to be a great entry price to pull your entry down, because yes, we all know where Solana is going, and that we could expect this major pump first of all the way to the all-time high, because we can see Solana is having this great consolidation within the symmetrical triangle, or even this major W that we're forming on the daily chart. And if we're going to break this neckline, yes, here's a lot of previous resistance and also support exactly within the zone. But if we're going to break this towards the upside, guys, we're going to reach the previous all-time high at the levels of $250, because this is the price target from this major W and also from this symmetrical triangle. And with the right time horizon, guys, you're going to invest exactly within these levels, and you're going to ignore, even if the price is going to dump 20% all the way back down to this previous support, because ultimately we all know that Solana is going to go all the way up to the 1,000 US dollar level, and that you're going to make some major profits. And if you want to find out, are we going to see a hawkish or even a dovish behavior from the Fed, and what is Jerome Powell going to say, the best place to be during the FOMC meeting is a Tom Crown Crypto, because he's going to live stream the FOMC meeting. And yes, by the way, I'm supporting his channel because I also made the thumbnail for him. So go over to Tom Crown Crypto and join the FOMC meeting. But ultimately, guys, yes, we could expect some major volatility and some major price swings, maybe even to the 50 moving average, which is around the 63,000 US dollars, or even all the way up to the 70,000 US dollars. So ultimately, guys, we could expect a major price swing until the markets is going to decide in any direction. Is it going to be a bullish or even a bearish case? I'm going to lean towards the bullish case. And guys, if you always want to stay up to date, make sure to be in my free Telegram group, where I always keep you up to date and where you can find more information about my Signal group. So ultimately, guys, make sure to subscribe and smash up the like button. But most importantly, guys, be for crypto, and we see each other in the next video.